Pre-modern Singapore, 14th to 15th century. Sources we will be working on. The Singapore Stone. The Sejarah Melayu, an archaeological artifact. Firstly, we will focus on the Singapore Stone. The Singapore Stone is a primary source and an artifact. It is 10 feet wide and high. The Singapore Stone is found at the mouth of the Singapore River. The two parts of the boulder reclined opposite each other with a distance between them. However, the British blew it up in 1834. The Singapore Stone is believed to be from the 10th to 14th century. Various scholars have looked at the script and given different comments. Most sources say that its language has been predicted to be ancient Javanese, Sanskrit, or Majapahit script. Historians predict that the slab may be linked to the legendary story of the 14th century strongman Badang. Badang was said to have thrown a massive stone to the mouth of Singapore River. After Badang's death, the Raja sent 2 stone pillars to be raised over his grave at the point of Straits of Singapura. This seems true as Badang threw the stone the same place where the Singapore Stone was found. In a nutshell, the Singapore Stone tells us that the people who had settled in Singapore could read and write, but in a different language. This tells us that there was a proper settlement in Singapore long ago. Next, we will be working on the Sejarah Melayu. Sejarah Melayu, or Malay Annals, is a Malay literary work. Written in Old Jawi script on traditional paper, it covers a period of over 600 years and includes information about the Kingdom of Malacca and its various relationships with neighbouring kingdoms. Some of the stories which mention Singapore are the Bitara of Majapahit and the story of Sang Nila Utama. The story of Sang Nila Utama tells us how Singapura was named. Since it is believed that he saw a lion-like creature when he first came to Temasek, he named the island Singapura, as Singa means lion and Pura means city. The name thus means Lion City. Sang Nila Utama ruled Singapura for 48 years. He was buried on Bukit Larangan, now Fort Canning. By that time, Singapura had developed into a great and famous city. The Sejarah Melayu mainly says that Singapore is a magnificent city. Post-14th century. After Sang Nila Utama, Parameswara came to Singapore. He became the new ruler of Singapore. However, he was drawn out by Singapore by either Japanese or Siamese troops. Archaeological findings. At Fort Canning, many artifacts dating back to the 14th century have been uncovered. Legend says that the Malay kings ruled were buried upon its slopes. Artifacts uncovered include ceramics from the Yuan dynasty period in China, Indian glass beads, Chinese porcelain ware, copper coins, Chinese, Vietnamese and Thai ceramics, copper and iron remains from the forges of local metalsmiths, and a carved stone human head. These artifacts reveal that an elite class lived on the hill in the 14th century and gave credence to the legends from the Malay annals that described a royal palace on the summit. Excavations at St. Andrew's Cathedral have revealed artifacts dating from the 14th to 20th century, which suggests that the 14th century settlement in Singapore extended well beyond the Singapore River. Realistically, these ornaments have been dated to the mid-14th century. This armlet bears the motif of the Hindu Kala god, symbolizing time and destruction, which figures prominently in the pre-Angkor and Angkorian lintels, Javanese and Balinese art temple motifs. It is probable these ornaments were worn by a member of the royal family of Temasek, who buried them in face of imminent invasion. This steam cup shows that the elite class living on the hill could afford the best products of the Chinese kilns at the Jingdezeng. All the evidence seems to point at the fact that Singapore had a vibrant past before 1890 in the 13th to 14th century. Thank you.